Big win last night for Golden State over the Lakers. Mark Jackson back on the program. Did you fill out a bracket for March Madness?
Unfortunately, I did not. So I'm disappointed in the fact that I didn't.
Well, wait, why wouldn't you do that with a little camaraderie with your team?
Because my team did not do it. We were busy attempting to win ball games and had our mindset on taking care of business. But one quick thing with you before we get into this. First of all, you brushed me off the last time, and I told you, only for President Obama and Muhammad Ali. We go back too far for you to brush me off. Second of all, you're a grumpy old man talking about Florida Gulf Coast celebrating. Where I come from, in the church, you're supposed to shout in the middle. Don't wait until it's all over with. Enjoy it, embrace it, and celebrate.
Yeah, but you're old school. How much celebrating can you do, and how much celebrating is too much?
To me, I think this is who they are. They've been this way from day one in the tournament. So the problem you get is when you change. Don't change for the folks. This is what has carried them and sustained them and made them the talk of this tournament. And I think it's to be celebrated around. Those guys are doing an incredible job, and I like the fact that they're not changing even though the situation is changing.
Do you know the first time that I met you?
Was it love at first sight?
No, not love. but I went to St. John's, and you were a freshman there. And I was there, and I said, look, we want to do an interview with Chris Mullin, who was the best player on the team, the star. And they said, well, if you do an interview with Mark Jackson, we'll get you Chris Mullin. I interviewed you your freshman year at St. John's so I could get an interview with Chris Mullin.
I do remember that, and I do remember we talked about it. And the disappointing part is that's the only time I ever saw you go through the motions in the interview.
Oh, did I mail that in? Well, I knew I wasn't going to use that interview. I'm thinking, I got to interview this guy? Come on. What's he going to amount to?
I was a girl in the club. You was talking to me to try to get to my friend.
All right, after the win last night, somebody asked you about the Lakers, and you said what?
Well, I just answered an honest question, and it was no shot towards the Lakers. We are basically a better basketball team today. I think 72 games are facts behind what I said. There's no disrespect to them. They are in our rearview mirror, and we are not looking back at them. They have 4 Hall of Famers. There's 4 guys that are going to be in the Hall of Fame, and they're a team that is a dangerous team. But at the end of the day, 72 games have told us that we're a better basketball team. We're going to continue to work hard and continue to get better.
But what made you? At what point did you say we're better than this team and this team and this team, including the Lakers?
Reality. If you ask me today, are we better than the San Antonio Spurs? If Coach Popovich looked up and said, "Hey, we're better than the Golden State Warriors," well, he's 100% right. Today, 72 games have dictated to us that the teams in front of us are better. Now, that doesn't mean that if we see them down the road, we can't beat them. But the reality is they're better basketball teams over the course of 72 games.
What do you, if you can give us a little bit of strategy, when you were facing the Lakers last night, what is it that you try to accomplish? What are their weak spots?
Well, it's really no secret. And you want to push the basketball. You want to force tempo. That's a team that...
Uh-oh. Lakers just cut him off. Just ready to tell us some secrets, and then all of a sudden, mysteriously, we lose Mark Jackson. Mark, you back with us?
Yes, with my dogs.
Yeah, what happened? You're afraid? Now you can't say anything? You can't tell us about the Lakers' strategy here?
No, I'll tell you, I don't know when I got cut off, but you want to push the basketball and you want to force them to beat you on your terms as opposed to their terms. Kobe has proven, Dwight has proven, Steve Nash and pick and roll has proven, Pau Gasol proven, but you just want to disrupt them, and then there's times when you got to force the basketball out of Kobe Bryant's hands because he's that special.
The move that Steph Curry put on Steve Nash is mean-spirited, Mark.
I mean, this guy is playing at an incredible level right now. It's a crime that he wasn't in the All-Star game. I think people are getting an appreciation of just how good he is and just how great of a shooter he is. He's playing lights out, and he's playing like he's the best player on the floor night in and night out. And his energy, his effort, and his approach has been contagious throughout the locker room.
I know that he's not going to be mentioned in the MVP race, but I think that he should at least be in the paragraph where we talk about it. LeBron's going to win it, but I think what Steph has done and coming back from, his ankle injury and, you were waiting for the pieces to sort of fit in there. He's been a pretty impressive kid this season.
Well, I'm so glad you said that because I actually have a dinner bet with my couple of my guys on the staff that Steph Curry will get MVP vote. Now, LeBron James is the MVP. That being said, when you think about what Steph Curry has done for this basketball team this year, and you think about us being 10 games over 500 without two of our top 5 players the majority of the year, Andrew Bogut and Brandon Rush. Steph Curry coming back from the injury last year, the year that he's having has been incredible, and I'm awfully proud of him because it couldn't happen to a better guy.
He's Mark Jackson, Golden State head coach, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. If we matched up Jordan's best team against this Miami Heat team, so if I got LeBron and Wade and Michael and Scottie, who are you taking?
As a team or as a tandem?
Well, take the tandem now. Those two against the other two.
Well, I said it before. To me, LeBron James is the best small forward that's ever played this game. And that's with all due respect to Larry Bird. LeBron James is a different animal, and what he's doing is legendary. To me, Dwayne Wade is the third best shooting guard that's ever played this game. That being said, it would be unfair to put their body of work right now against Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. So the edge would go to Jordan and Pippen because of their body of work.
Okay, what about Bosh versus Rodman?
I mean, once again, that's disrespectful. Chris Bosh has been an all-star. He's a top-notch player. But Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer. And it's not fair today to put him in that class. Dennis Rodman is all-time great rebounder, all-time great defender. Now, he was crazy, but those two things he did as well as anybody.
Yeah, because now we're getting into comparing these teams, and it's tough to compare the Heat now to the Lakers in the early 70s. So I was thinking if you did it with just the Chicago Bulls, who, had that 3-star system there and supporting cast, and then you have the same thing with the Miami Heat. Are the Heat a great team or just great against a watered-down Eastern Conference?
Now, I would take those other teams over this Heat team. When you're talking about, I'm not going to go back to the 70s, but the Lakers and the Celtic teams.
What about the Bad Boys? The Bad Boys?
That's a better comparison, but I think that they had great role players. They would basically beat up this Miami Heat team, and it would be very interesting. And they had superior play. Again, in my opinion, the second best point guard that's ever played in Isaiah Thomas. But it would be close. And I think this Miami Heat team, they're a great basketball team. When you win a championship and you bounce back by putting together the type of streak that they put together, I think Eric Spoelstra's a heck of a coach, and they have a heck of a basketball team. It's going to be a tough out for them come playoff time.
Best team you faced this year is who?
I would have to say the Miami Heat. We faced the San Antonio Spurs, a great basketball team. We faced Oklahoma City, a great basketball team. But Miami, we beat them in Miami, and then they came to our building with a chip on their shoulder to make a statement, and they made the statement. When you look at them collectively, they spread the floor. They're very physical defensively, and they play to their strengths. And when it matters most, they got two guys that they can put the ball in their hands and say, make a play for us.
Did Kobe ever acknowledge when you stood up for him when we had that argument when we were doing the NBA where you said that you were looking at Kobe and Michael Jordan and people thought you were crazy to say that?
We've talked plenty of times and we have a great respect and appreciation, or I do, for him. So we've never had that type of dialogue, but the respect level is there. And the guy, flat out, if you're a fan of basketball, you got to appreciate him. So we've had a great relationship, especially when I was calling games. And a lot of those times they were Laker games when it mattered most.
But you were defending him you said you can put him up there. I don't even know. You may even said he might end up being better than Jordan when it was all done.
I did say that. Yeah. I'm not going to back up. I think what people thought what I said was he was better than him then. But when it's all said and done, his body of work, it's awfully impressive. I don't think we've seen anybody put the type of year that he's put together this year at this late stage of his career. This guy seems like he's beating Father Time, and he's not going to win the battle, but he sure is keeping it interesting.
Good to visit with you, as always, and congrats on the win last night. Who are you playing in the Western Conference Finals? Who do you think you'll be faced up with?
You're looking to start trouble. It's not to us. It doesn't matter who's going to be there. We'll just see him. But guess what? I tell you what, we're going to celebrate in the midst. So you're going to be talking about us jumping up and down.
Hell yes, I'm going to be in church with you. I'm going to be celebrating. I'm going to be singing. Yeah, I'm going to be in the choir.
That's right. True love worship, baby.
Yep, that's me. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, Mark Jackson, Golden State Warriors. I was thinking back when I first met him. Dude comes out, and they said, you got to interview this freshman if you get to interview Chris Mullin. All right. I'll ask him a couple of questions. Who knows if he'll – and he was actually good. He was a good player as a freshman.